It has been 9 years since Mad Max Fury Road graced our cinema screens, and here we are finally, 9 years later, with a new film in this franchise, Furiosa. And was this film worth the 9-year wait? No. Good things first. Of course, Anya Taylor-Joy is good as young Furiosa, but Chris Hemsworth, my god, I am just so used to him playing Thor and these heroic, noble characters at this point. So seeing him play such a despicable, just batshit crazy maniac character in Dementus and watching Hemsworth completely relish every single second of screen time was actually quite amazing to witness. I'm not sure if I've seen him play a villain before. I can't think of any bad guys he's played, so this is a first for me, and I want to see him play more bad guys because clearly he's having a good time playing this character, and you're having a good time watching him having a good time. And as you would expect from a Mad Max Universe film, the action sequences for the most part are pretty good. When they're out in the desert for real, with real cars, real vehicles, with real crashes, real explosions, of course, it's impressive because practical action, real locations, good stuff. About 20 minutes to half an hour into the film, the first problem really stood out to me, which was the pacing, and it wasn't brilliant. It was kind of drifting from scene to scene with very little momentum and very little fanfare, which is surprising considering how frantically paced Mad Max Fury Road was. Fury Road was much more of a chase film, so it suited that much quicker pace. Furiosa is much more of a drama, a revenge drama of sorts. So it's not going to be as fast-paced as Fury Road, but still I just think that films in this universe benefit from a much quicker pace to fit the crazy batshit nature of the universe. And honestly, because of how pedestrian the pacing was, there were parts in that first half that to me were kind of a snooze. The second half does pick up a little bit to a brisk walk, but still, it just wasn't fast enough. The pacing would not have been as big of a problem for me if the story was stronger, because it's a pretty thin premise at its core. Furiosa's kidnapped, she's surviving the wastelands and Immortan Joe's gang, and she wants revenge on Dementus. Thematically, emotionally, that's pretty much the film. There's other things going on, there's gang warfare between Immortan Joe's gang and Dementus' gang, but those things are really just obstacles for Furiosa. And fundamentally, I think the biggest problem and disappointment in this film for me is that I just don't think this film really fleshed out Furiosa as a character all that much. By the end of this film, Furiosa is no more compelling or interesting of a character than she already was in Mad Max Fury Road. In Fury Road, she tells about the green place of many mothers. That's where she's from. It's this incredible, amazing place, and she yearns so terribly to get back to this place. So you think in Furiosa, we're gonna see this green place and we're gonna see the kidnapping and we're gonna get invested in her journey to go home. But the film starts out, she's in the green place, and Furiosa is kidnapped not 2 minutes into the film. Like, immediately she's taken from the green place. We don't get to spend any time in this place. We see one decent shot of it, like a big wide shot, but that's it. We don't get attached to this place. We don't get attached to the people, Furiosa's mother. The emotional attachment to Furiosa's entire motivation for the revenge quest and to get back to that place just isn't really there. Plus, I just didn't really feel the drive or the conviction in Furiosa's revenge quest against Dementus. You could say that it's a quiet rage type thing because Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa doesn't have a lot of dialogue. So you could say that she's being very stoic and the rage is boiling inside of her, she's biding her time, she's waiting for the right opportunity. But it just didn't really come across that effectively on screen when I was watching it. On a visual note, this film has considerably more CGI than Mad Max Fury Road. There's like CGI landscapes, and you can tell when characters are on green screens and sound stages and not actually in the desert. And there's more CGI in some of the action, like when the chimney's falling down, and some of the explosions during the car chases look more CGI. And it's just disappointing when 9 years ago, Mad Max Fury Road came out and 90% of that film was done practically, with all the real explosions, real cars, real deserts. And again, there are times in this film where they are in the desert with real cars. It's just not nearly as much as they were in Mad Max Fury Road, so that was a bit of a letdown. Unfortunately, I was underwhelmed by Furiosa. It's not a bad film, it's got some good performances, some good cinematography, some solid action scenes, some good pockets of entertainment sprinkled throughout, but the pacing combined with the thin story, the long run time, and a story that to me just didn't really feel worth telling, and it didn't really add much to the Furiosa character or the Mad Max universe, just made this a prequel spin-off that just didn't really justify its existence.